It's 11:47 p.m. on a Tuesday night. You're lying in bed, scrolling through Instagram. You should be asleep, but you can't stop. Your thumb moves automatically. Scroll, double tap, scroll, scroll, stop. There she is, your college friend Sarah, the one you used to split ramen with. She's standing in front of the Eiffel Tower. The caption says, "Living my best life, #blessed." The comments are full of fire emojis and people saying, "You deserve this." You feel a knot form in your stomach. You were supposed to go to Paris last year. You had the trip planned, but you couldn't afford it. Not after the car payment, the credit card bills, the rent increase. So you canceled. And here's Sarah, apparently thriving. You keep scrolling. Your cousin posts photos from his new apartment, floor-to-ceiling windows, exposed brick, a kitchen island bigger than your entire kitchen. New chapter, he writes. You're still in the same apartment you've had for 4 years, the one with the leaky faucet and the weird smell. Scroll. Your high school classmate just bought a Tesla. Scroll. Your coworker is at a Michelin star restaurant. Scroll. Someone you barely remember from that party 3 years ago is on a yacht. A yacht! You close the app. It's 12:23 a.m. now. You've been scrolling for 36 minutes, and you feel worse than you did before. Not just worse, you feel behind, like everyone figured out a secret you missed, like life is passing you by and everyone's invited to the party except you. So the next morning, you make a decision. You're tired of feeling left out. You're tired of being the person who can't afford things. You download that travel app. You book the trip to Bali you've been seeing everywhere. $3,200 on the credit card. You'll figure it out later. You need this. You deserve this. But here's what you don't know. Sarah's Paris trip? Financed entirely on credit cards. She's $8,000 deeper in debt and having panic attacks about money every night. Your cousin's apartment? He's spending 65% of his take-home pay on rent and eating rice and beans to survive. The Tesla guy? Leased. He can't afford to own it. The yacht person? It was a $400 rental split between 8 people for an afternoon, photographed to look like a lifestyle. This is the comparison trap. By obsessing over what you see on social media, you're making financial decisions based on a highlight reel of lies. And every time you try to keep up, you're mathematically guaranteeing your own financial destruction. You're not building wealth, you're building a performance, and that performance is bankrupting you. My name is Sam, and I spend way too much time studying the psychology of social comparison, the invisible cost of FOMO, and why Instagram is the most expensive app on your phone, even though it's free. If you are someone who has ever bought something because you saw it on social media, or if you've ever felt behind because everyone else seems to be doing better than you, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this resonates with you. Because today, we're going to destroy one of the most financially dangerous habits of the modern era. We're going to talk about why social media is costing you tens of thousands of dollars a year, why comparison spending is a wealth killer, and why the life you're comparing yourself to doesn't actually exist. We're going to explore the concept of the Instagram tax, the FOMO premium, and why your feed is designed to make you feel inadequate, so you'll spend money trying to catch up. Here's the thing about social media comparison. It's not organic, it's not accidental, it's engineered. These platforms are designed to trigger social comparison because social comparison drives engagement, and engagement drives ad revenue. In the 1950s and 60s, you compared yourself to your neighbors. You could see their house, their car, their lawn. That was the extent of it. Maybe a dozen people, and you understood the trade-offs because you saw the full picture. But we live in a completely different reality today. In 2025, you're not comparing yourself to a dozen neighbors. You're comparing yourself to 847 people on Instagram, 1,200 on Facebook, 423 on TikTok, plus every influencer, celebrity, and stranger whose content the algorithm feeds you. You're comparing your behind-the-scenes reality to thousands of people's highlight reels, and you're doing it 150 times per day. That's not comparison, that's psychological warfare, and you're losing money every single time you open the app. Let's talk about what social media comparison actually costs you. And I'm not talking about the time, although that's a cost too. I'm talking about cold hard cash leaving your bank account because of what you saw on a screen. Studies show that people who use social media more than 2 hours per day spend 43% more on discretionary purchases than people who don't. 43%. Let's say you make $60,000 a year and you have about $12,000 in discretionary spending. 43% of that is $5,160. That's $5,160 per year that you're spending because of social media influence. That's $430 a month. That's real money. But let's go deeper. Let's look at specific categories. Fashion purchases influenced by Instagram average $127 per month. Dining out influenced by food photos average $218 per month. Travel influenced by FOMO average $3,800 per year. Beauty and grooming influenced by influencers average $94 per month. Home decor influenced by Pinterest and TikTok average $73 per month. Added up, you're spending about $890 per month or $10,680 per year on things you wouldn't have bought if you weren't trying to keep up with what you see online. And now here's where it gets devastating. What if instead of spending that $890 per month trying to match the highlight reel, you invested it? Over 10 years, at a conservative 8% return, that's $163,000. Over 20 years, $593,000. Over 30 years, $1.2 million. The life you're trying to fake on Instagram is costing you an actual $1 million retirement. That's not motivation, that's just math. You're trading real future wealth for fake current status. And the worst part? Nobody's even paying attention. They're too busy trying to impress you with their own fake life. Now, let's talk about how influencers and brands are making money off your comparison anxiety, because this is a business model. It's not accidental. An influencer posts a photo of themselves at a luxury resort. Much needed self-care weekend, #treat yourself. What they don't tell you, the resort is free. They're being paid $5,000 to post about it. The spa treatments are comped, the meals are comped, the flights are comped. They're making money to look like they're spending money. You see it and think, I should treat myself too. So you book a spa weekend you can't afford. You just paid for the fantasy they sold you. Or a fashion influencer posts an outfit, obsessed with this new bag. The bag costs $800. What they don't tell you, the brand sent it for free, or they're getting a 20% commission on every bag sold through their link. They profit from your purchase. You see it, feel behind, buy the bag, and now you're $800 poorer. They're $160 richer from your insecurity. This is arbitrage, but you're on the wrong side. They're selling you a lifestyle they don't pay for, and you're paying for a lifestyle you can't afford. They're converting your comparison anxiety into their revenue stream, and you keep scrolling, which keeps the machine running. Now, you might be thinking, but Sam, what's wrong with treating myself? What's wrong with wanting nice experiences? I work hard, I deserve it. And this is where we have to completely redefine what treating yourself actually means. Most people define treating themselves as spending money on something that makes them happy in the moment. I define treating yourself as making decisions that compound into lasting happiness and freedom. This is the fundamental difference between feeling rich and being wealthy. When you treat yourself to the $3,200 Bali trip because everyone on Instagram is in Bali, you get 7 days of happiness and 36 months of credit card payments. The interest alone at 19.99% APR will cost you an extra $1,200 over 3 years if you make minimum payments. You didn't treat yourself to a $3,200 trip. You treated yourself to a $4,400 mistake. Compare that to the person who ignored the Bali posts, put that 3,200 into investments, and 3 years later has 4,100 plus gains. They didn't get the Instagram post, but they got something better, optionality. When they want to take a trip, they can pay cash. When an emergency comes, they have a buffer. They treated their future self, not their insecure present self. Who's safer, the person with the Bali photos and the debt, or the person with no photos and the investment account? The person with the investment account is safer. They have runway, they have breathing room. The person with the photos has memories and monthly payments, and memories don't pay bills. Here's what most people don't realize about social media. Every time you open the app, you're being psychologically manipulated into feeling inadequate, and that inadequacy is monetized. The algorithm doesn't show you random posts. It shows you posts that trigger emotional responses. Envy is one of the strongest engagement drivers, so the algorithm learns, when I show this person travel content, they spend 12% more time on the app. When I show them luxury goods, they spend 18% more time. When I show them success posts from peers, they spend 23% more time. So what does it do? It floods your feed with travel, luxury, and peer success. Not because that's reality, because that's what keeps you scrolling. And the longer you scroll, the more ads you see. The more inadequate you feel, the more likely you are to click Buy Now on something that promises to make you feel better. This is the invisible algorithm tax. You think you're just browsing. You're actually being fed a curated stream of content designed to make you feel like you're falling behind, so you'll spend money trying to catch up. And every platform, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, is optimizing for this. They profit when you feel inadequate. They lose money when you feel content. Your contentment is bad for their business model, so they engineer discontentment, and then they sell you products to temporarily relieve the discontentment they created.
Let's run the full simulation, because I want you to see this with your own eyes. Meet Jordan and Casey. They're both 28 years old. They both make $65,000 a year. They get the same 3% annual raise. They're identical in every way except one: their relationship with social media comparison. Jordan is active on social media, posts regularly, scrolls for 2 to 3 hours daily, influenced by what they see. When friends go to Tulum, Jordan books Tulum. When someone posts about a new iPhone, Jordan upgrades. When influencers show a trendy restaurant, Jordan makes a reservation. Between travel, dining, fashion, and lifestyle purchases influenced by comparison, Jordan spends an extra $850 a month. After bills and necessities, Jordan saves about $200 a month. Casey sees the same content but doesn't engage. Scrolls for maybe 15 minutes a day, mostly to stay in touch. Not influenced by lifestyle posts, doesn't feel compelled to match. Takes trips when they genuinely want to, not when Instagram says to. Buys things based on need, not trends. Saves the $850 a month that Jordan spends on comparison purchases. After bills, Casey saves $1,050 a month. Let's fast forward 30 years. They're both 58 now. Jordan, who spent 3 decades trying to keep up with social media, has about $152,000 saved. That's not nothing. That's more than most Americans, but it's not enough to retire comfortably. Jordan will need to keep working, maybe scale back the lifestyle, but definitely keep earning. Jordan is not free. Casey, who opted out of comparison spending, has $1.64 million saved. Casey can retire today, can live on dividends and withdrawals, can travel when they want, but not because Instagram says to, can work if they want, but don't have to. Casey won the game by refusing to play it. The difference is $1.49 million. That's the cost of spending 30 years competing with a highlight reel. That's the price of letting algorithms dictate your spending. Jordan got 30 years of Instagram likes. Casey got 30 years of financial peace and retirement at 58. I know which one I'd rather have. So why do we keep falling for this? Why do we know it's fake but still feel compelled to keep up? Because social comparison is hardwired in us. Humans survived for millennia by understanding their status in the tribe. If you were valued, you survived. If you were excluded, you died. So our brains evolved to constantly monitor, am I falling behind? Am I included? Am I valued? In a tribe of 150 people, this made sense. You could accurately assess your standing. But social media hacked this system. Your brain thinks you're in a tribe of 150,000 people and everyone seems to be doing better than you. Your primitive brain screams, you're falling behind, you're being excluded, do something. So you do something. You buy the thing, you book the trip, you post the photo. And for about 30 minutes, you feel better. You feel included. Then the dopamine wears off and you're back to scrolling, back to comparing, back to feeling behind. This is digital FOMO and it's bankrupting a generation. The fear of missing out drives financial decisions that guarantee you'll miss out on actual wealth. You're spending money to feel included in a party that doesn't exist while missing the actual opportunity to build something real. Let's talk about influencers specifically, because they're the most visible manifestation of this trap. The influencer with 500,000 followers posting from Dubai, wearing Gucci, staying at the Burj Al Arab, you see it and think, that's success. That's what I'm working toward. Here's what you don't see. That influencer is probably making $100,000 to $300,000 a year. Good money, but not fly private and stay at $2,000 per night hotels money. So how do they maintain the image? Debt. Tons of debt. Credit cards maxed out, personal loans. They're spending 120% of their income to maintain an image that generates income. They're trapped in a performance that requires them to look more successful than they are to continue making money. They can't stop because the moment they post normal content, the engagement drops and the brand deals dry up. Or they're faking it entirely. The private jet photo? That's a set you can rent for $150 an hour. The luxury car? Rented for the day. The designer clothes? Borrowed from showrooms. The fancy hotel? Comped in exchange for posts. None of it is real. And you're destroying your actual finances trying to emulate a life that's either deeply in debt or completely fabricated. You're setting your real life on fire to chase someone else's fictional one. I know what you're thinking. I can already hear the pushback. Sam, are you saying I should never enjoy my life? Should I just sit at home and stare at a wall while my friends are out there living? No, I'm saying enjoy your life based on what actually makes you happy, not based on what you think will make you look happy. There's a massive difference. If you genuinely love travel and you budget for it and you pay cash and it doesn't derail your financial goals, then travel. But if you're booking trips primarily to post about them, primarily to prove to others that you're living your best life, you're not traveling, you're performing. And performance is expensive. Second objection. But Sam, social media is how I stay connected with friends. I can't just delete it. You don't have to delete it. You have to change how you use it. Unfollow the accounts that make you feel behind. Unfollow the influencers selling lifestyles. Unfollow the peers whose posts trigger comparison. Follow people who inspire you without making you feel inadequate. Use it for connection, not comparison. Third objection. But what if I actually want those things? What if I genuinely want to upgrade my life? Then earn more or wait and save for them. But be honest with yourself. Do you want the thing or do you want the validation that comes from showing others you have the thing? If it's the latter, you're spending money on something you don't actually want. You're buying validation, and validation is the most expensive purchase you'll ever make. Now, let me be intellectually honest. There are exactly 3 scenarios where spending influenced by social media might make sense. One is you're a business owner or professional where your visible lifestyle is part of your brand and it generates income. If you're a real estate agent selling luxury homes and posting lifestyle content brings you $200,000 in annual commissions, then yes, the $30,000 you spend maintaining that image is a business investment. But this applies to maybe 0.5% of people. The rest of us are lying to ourselves. 2, the purchase genuinely improves your life independent of social validation. You see a productivity tool on social media, you research it, it actually makes your life better, and you would still use it even if no one knew you had it. That's fine. That's a real purchase, not a comparison purchase. 3, you're wealthy enough that comparison spending is mathematically irrelevant. If you have $5 million invested and you spend an extra $20,000 a year on social media influenced purchases, that's 0.4% of your net worth. It's a rounding error.
It won't change your trajectory. But if you have $50,000 in savings and you spend $10,000 trying to keep up, that's 20% of your net worth. That's devastating. But if you're watching this video, I'm guessing you're not in category 3. I'm guessing you're someone who knows deep down that comparison spending is hurting you. And for the person who wants to build real wealth, comparison spending is financial suicide.
This requires a fundamental shift in how you see yourself. You have to stop deriving your worth from how your life looks online and start deriving it from how your life actually is. The person trapped in comparison plays the game of looking happy. They curate the perfect photo. They post the perfect caption. They collect the likes. They feel validated for 45 minutes. Then they're back to feeling inadequate, back to scrolling, back to comparing. They stay trapped forever because they're measuring their worth by external validation. The person who opts out plays a different game. They're playing the game of actual happiness. They do things because they enjoy them, not because they photograph well. They spend money on what brings genuine value, not on what brings likes. They're building a life, not a feed. You have to choose which game you're playing because you can't play both. If you're still living for the gram, you're playing the comparison game. And in the comparison game, you can never win because there's always someone who looks like they're doing better. The goalposts move infinitely. But if you're ready to play the wealth game, it starts with deleting the apps, or at least radically changing how you use them. It starts with unfollowing anyone who makes you feel behind. It starts with measuring your life by your bank account and your peace of mind, not by your engagement rate. Here's what I want you to do right now. I want you to audit your comparison spending. Open your banking app. Go back 3 months. Look at every purchase over $50. For each one, ask yourself honestly, did I buy this because I wanted it or because I saw someone else have it? That trendy restaurant you went to last month, did you go because the food is amazing or because you saw it all over Instagram and needed to post that you'd been there? Those new sneakers, did you buy them because your old ones were worn out or because you saw them on TikTok? That subscription box, that home decor item, that piece of tech, that trip? Be ruthlessly honest. Highlight every comparison purchase in red. Add them up. I'm willing to bet it's $500 to $1,500 in just 3 months. Multiply by 4, that's $2,000 to $6,000 per year. Over 30 years, invested at 8%, that's $226,000 to $680,000. Now, here's the action step. Pick your 3 biggest comparison triggers. Maybe it's following travel influencers. Maybe it's following fashion accounts. Maybe it's checking in on that person from high school who always seems to be doing better than you. Unfollow them right now. Just unfollow. Your feed is not reality. It's a curated algorithm designed to make you spend money. Take back control. Next, set up a separate savings account. Call it your opted-out account, or your reality fund, or whatever reminds you that you're playing a different game now. Every time you resist a comparison purchase, transfer what you would have spent into that account. Saw that influencer post about a new gadget? Wanted to buy it? Didn't? Transfer $127 to your opted-out account. Saw your friend's vacation photos? Wanted to book a trip? Didn't? Transfer $1,200 to your opted-out account. In 6 months, open that account. You'll see thousands of dollars that would have been gone. Money you saved by refusing to compete with a highlight reel. That's when the identity shift happens. That's when you realize you were never behind. Everyone else was just pretending to be ahead. Here's the truth that social media platforms don't want you to know. Your inadequacy is their business model. They profit when you feel behind. They lose money when you feel content. The Bali trip isn't a trip. It's a $4,400 response to algorithmic manipulation. The designer bag isn't a bag. It's an $800 attempt to prove your worth to people who aren't thinking about you. The restaurant you can't afford isn't dinner. It's a $180 performance for an audience that will forget it in 12 hours. Being happy is having enough money saved that you can handle any crisis without panic. Looking happy is having a feed that makes strangers think you're thriving while you're secretly drowning in debt.
The person with 10,000 followers and no savings is not winning. The person with 0 followers and $500,000 invested is not losing. You're not behind. You're just comparing your reality to everyone else's fiction. And the moment you stop competing, you start winning. I'd rather have the money. If this video made you unfollow even one comparison trigger, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Help them see that the race they're running is rigged. Help them opt out. Help them choose wealth over validation. Because the world doesn't need more people faking success on Instagram. The world needs more people building real financial security in private. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.